Tennessee Tech head coach Dewayne Alexander, the Golden Eagles, coming off a loss at nationally ranked UT Martin this past week. Another ranked opponent on the schedule, Southeast Missouri, who is 21-1 in the polls this week. That'll be Saturday afternoon. Cape Girardeau. Coach, thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
First of all, congratulations to UT Martin, a very good football team. Jason Simpson's really got that program, rolling right now, coming off the OVC championship last year. And then, this year they got a very good team, having to go to their place and play. They've won, I think, 8 straight before we came in there to play. It's 9 straight now. Very good team. It was their homecoming, great weather day. It was certainly a game of big plays. This game was. There were 7 football plays in this game, over 40 yards between both teams, and it was a game of big plays. Neither team really lined up and established anything as far as drives go. Everything was off of big plays, and they just made more big plays than we did when it was all said and done. It was really the difference in the game. If you'd have told me going into the game that we would be able to, that Zach Wallace would end the game with 78 yards rushing, and that Colton Dow would have 3 catches for 38 yards, and they would be 1 of 11 on third downs, I would tell you that we'd have had a really good chance to have won the football game, But, the other factor is UT Martin's got a lot of weapons besides Zach Wallace and Colton Dow. Jason Simpson, besides being a really good head coach, he does not get the credit he deserves as a offensive coordinator and play caller. He does a great job of identifying all of his guys that can do things with the football, and he puts them in positions to make plays with the ball. He does that. He's always done that. He does a great job of that in the red zone area. Have a 6'5", 235-pound tight end that they were able to get in the open field. Besides being a hand on the player ground, they use him as a receiver a lot, and he hit us on a big play for 70 yards. And They've got a lot of guys, a lot of weapons on offense. Quarterback is playing very well, throws a great deep ball. And, it's a 14-14 ball game. There was a period there in the second quarter, back and forth. It was 14-14. And, we had several stops and 3 and outs and had a chance to, to do something. We never could just get that key drive that we needed or a key possession there to score to give us a, 17-14 or 21-14 lead, and then, really key there right before we had the ball 1st and 10 at their 33-yard line in a tie ball game in the second quarter. And, uncharacteristically, we get 4 straight penalties. We end up with a 3rd and 27, had to punt, only had a 10-yard punt. And, it just couldn't do anything with that drive. They hit us on a big play. And then the drive right before half really hurt. And, really a key turnover in the game where they had a pick 6 and, defensively, we did not create a turnover in the game. They did not turn the football over at all offensively. They didn't have a turnover till late in the game. So really, man, when you play really good football teams and they're a really good team, they're very deserving. I'll tell you straight up, I get a vote in the AFCA poll and they are ranked higher than 14th in my poll. I can tell you that. I think Martin is a top 10 or 12 team. I think Sanford is, and I think SEMO is as well. I think they are a top, certainly inside the top 20, top 15 team. They're a very good football team. But, our guys fought hard, just, again, gave up too many big plays to win the football game.
Got a couple people for questions. We're going to go to Ben first and then Tom. So, Ben, go ahead.
Coach, Kyle alluded to it a little bit, but, multiple games in a row where you're playing these tough opponents. Talk about moving. Is your team fired up to play another, team that's playing really good right now?
I would say we better be fired up, or it won't be pretty. SEMO, to me, and I've seen SEMO on film. We played, against Sanford and played again. They've continued to win. They won another big game at Furman this past weekend, and then and after playing UT Martin, SEMO is every bit as good. Okay, they certainly are. In my opinion, they're a top 15 team. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're very good. Yeah, that's what you play for, right? That's what you do is you want to play against good competition. You want to play against the best, and you want to compete. Right now we got the injury bug a little bit that we're having to try to overcome and, to be at full strength. But our guys are playing hard. We're competing hard. And, and to have a chance to win big ball games, you got to get in big ball games. You got to be in them, and you got to have a chance to win them. We certainly had an opportunity. Sanford, we had the lead with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. With a chance to close out and win the game, had a chance in the second quarter to close it out. We had some opportunities in this game to have stayed in the game. I'd love to have, gone in at halftime at with a tie score or something like that, which we certainly had an opportunity to do. In the second half, I thought we certainly competed, competed well in this game. I mean, play in and play out, we played very well. They ran 66 total plays. 61 of those plays, we hold them to 3.3 yards a play. The other 5 plays, they scored 4 touchdowns on 5 other plays. They were all just big plays. But as far as compete and play in and play out, I thought our guys competed well physically. And it's going to be the same thing this week. You're going on the road to a tough place to play. Coach Tuke does a great job with that program. Has done a great job with that program. They play with an edge. They play hard. To me, they're playing well in all 3 phases right now: offense, defense, and special teams. They got a lot of weapons on offense, defense. They've had 33 tackles for loss. They've had 15 sacks. They've scored on defense. They've had a 97-yard kickoff return. They're dangerous in the kick game. And then offensively, they got weapons at every position. So we better be ready to play. Our guys had a great. We came in Sunday. We got back late Saturday night. We came in Sunday. We lifted weights. We met. We went on the field and practiced for an hour. We had a great practice this morning at 6:45 a.m. And we're going to strap it up, get on the bus on Friday, and we're going to be ready to play and play our tail off. That's what we do here at Tennessee Tech. We're going to play hard, and you keep playing hard, and you keep playing hard, and you keep doing things the right way. Sooner or later, good things are going to come. They always have. That's been my experience in 34 years of coaching, and it's still the same right now. If we just keep doing what we're doing and continue to keep working and continue to take the steps, there's going to be a point to where the scoreboard will start going in our favor. But certainly, very tough opponents. But that's what you're in this thing to do.
Yeah, and you talked about SEMO a little bit. What's it going to take from your guys to win this game?
Well, first of all, we got to control everything that we control. And, we've had just 2 ball games in a row to where, when you play really good teams, the margin for error is very small, and you certainly have to make them earn everything they get. I did not feel like we did that in the game this past Saturday. It was more, just mental bust of not doing the right thing, being at the right place, throwing a pick six, just blowing a coverage. We had 2 coverages where we have, just somebody not do what they're supposed to do, period. And that gave them a free one. I get if guys make contested plays, and make plays and run over you or make you miss or make a big catch and you're where you're supposed to be, you're playing good football teams, that's going to happen. But whenever you give the unforced errors, it's hard to overcome those, and we just had a couple of those at the most inopportune times in the past couple of weeks. It's really cost us an opportunity to have a chance to win the football game. And again, hats off to the other team for making the plays that they need to make. We just need to make one more. And, and all you can do is that you got to keep chasing those 4 or 5 plays, and how you chase them is in practice. And I compare it a lot to weightlifting. When you first start lifting weights, if you've never lifted weights in your life and you start out, you will improve tremendously. Your bench press may go from 150 to 250 pounds in no time. If you've never lifted a weight, your improvement is going to be a lot in a short period of time. But then once you get to a certain point, just to increase 5 pounds, you may have to work out for 6 months. You've got to work, and you got to really work. And that's what our team is in the middle of right now. Just to get those extra, 3 or 4 plays on each side of the ball takes a lot of work, a lot of film study, a lot of determination, a lot of commitment, a lot of, roll your sleeves up and let's go find a way to make those 3 or 4 plays. And that's what we're doing. And we're not backing down on that. We're going to continue to do that. We've got back out on the practice field this week to try to chase those 3 or 4 plays and see if we can't find them before we get on the bus and go to SEMO. I believe our team will. I believe in our staff. I believe in our players. We're competing hard, but there's a point we want to see some, the fruits of our labor. And my experience has always been at some point you will.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to Tom Davis. He is the SEMO beat writer. Go ahead, Tom.
Just one quick question, Coach. You've watched Geno Hess, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in the OVC, and the current OVC Offensive Player of the Week. You've seen him for several years. He's not a huge back. He's not an unbelievable breakaway speed, but what makes him difficult, and why is he so productive?
Well, and you're right. I have seen him, and quite honestly, I'm tired of seeing him. Honestly, he is a good football player. He's really good. And he's a lot like the back we played last week, UT Martin's back, Zach Wallace. They both have thick lower bodies. They they have good center of gravity. There's not a lot to hit. When they get in the hole, there's just not a lot there. I mean, you do tackling drills and you do all these different type of tackling drills. There seems to be a lot of surface there to tackle. You go to tackle these guys and there's not a whole lot there to hit. They got their hips down, the ball protected, and, there's just not a lot there, and strong lower bodies and quick just the first initial move. Does a great job of just quick feet and then doesn't mess around after that. There's not a lot of bouncing, trying to run the sideline, going to get his foot in the ground and get north and south with the ball. And he does a great job. He's a really good football player. And again, they've got weapons. Their quarterback is outstanding. I've been very impressed with him. He's tall, he's 6'5", he plays with good composure and poise. And then, boy, when you can fake that thing and ride it in there to number 6, you better be stepping up, and then when you step up, they do a great job of getting receivers in behind your guys who are fitting up to play the run, and 6'4" and 6'2" out on the perimeter at receivers, big tight end. I see no weaknesses at all. They have a lot of guys. They do a good job of getting all these other guys the football as well. But at the end of the day, Hess is the straw that stirs the drink, because they get the run game going and then can fake him the ball. And that really helps protection. And they have receivers that can make some plays down the field. So very impressed. But I tell you what, he's an outstanding player, outstanding young man. I love the way he plays. And, gosh, I hope he doesn't have another year. I don't know if I can stand another one, but I know, it'll be a challenge. And then we played against him before. We have seen him. So, we're going to go in there and, and do our best, see if we can get after him.
All right. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Again, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck on Saturday, and then we'll talk to you again next week.
I tell you should put me and Coach Tuca on here at the same time. We could really get some listeners. I think we could do pretty good.
I think maybe there's like a podcast or like.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, hey, if they ever run us out of coaching, we can always do that. I think put us on here. We break this OVC thing down, have a big time. So, Coach Tuca, I'll see you Saturday, brother. You got a good team. I respect you a lot. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to shake your hand. I hope you have a long trip, though, brother.
Well, maybe the river won't be. We went one year when we couldn't find a way to get across the river. I think we drove all the way to, I don't know, Timbuktu to come back down, but it looks like this year we're going to be all right. So we'll see you. I'll see you Saturday, brother.